Hey, shout out to Red Sox Nation, Mario and Red Sox Nation. We gonna love this news. Eduardo Rodriguez is coming back to the Red Sox for a 1 year extension worth $8.3 million. They avoided arbitration, and of course he was supposed to be our home opener starter against the Orioles this year, but that never came to be due to him catching COVID and was later diagnosed with myocarditis, which is an inflammatory heart condition. He said he will be 100% ready for the 2021 season, which is great news. We need a pitcher like him. And I actually read Mario. I actually read an article earlier on in the week, last week, and he said that he wants to stay in Boston for as long as his career goes on, which I love to hear. Boston's a great place to play some baseball. Obviously, this was reported by Mark Feinsand, which, if you know baseball, he is basically the Ian Rappaport of baseball, if shall I say. First of all, I just want to say, I hope he gets better. COVID's no joke, and COVID can lead to other conditions in your body, which is not a good thing. That's ultimately what happened to Erod. And it's great news to hear that he's coming back, and he's good news, even better news to hear that he will be 100% ready for the 2021 season. We need that frontline pitcher, and Erod is that man. Marshall Mario, what do you think, man? You excited?
Um, yeah, I'm excited he's going to return this season, but not as much as you. And the reason why I say that is because it's only a 1 year deal. So, and this, and again, I get flashbacks to when Mookie Betts got that 1 year deal, and then he ended up leaving the next year. So he's not totally. He's only locked in with us for 1 year. We didn't secure him for longer than a year. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm also concerned because because I mean, I'm kind of concerned about Erod getting COVID again. You know what I'm saying? Like it affected him so much that he couldn't play the whole season last year, and like this year, I mean, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just concerned. I'm just concerned about it. In case this hits him, I hope it doesn't. I mean, I hope he's absolutely 100% healthy. But again, that's the one thing that concerns me right there. So those two concerns right there. I mean, that's not why I'm excited, but I am excited for him to join the Red Sox this season.
Right, and I want to go to those 2 points real quick, and I'm gonna tell you. I'll say this about. I am a little concerned, but I'm not as concerned as I am with Chris Sale. Remember, Chris Sale is coming off of Tommy John surgery. I think that's even more of an effect than what's going on here. I mean, I'm pretty sure he can come back and do his thing, and I believe in Erod. I think he can come back and be that frontline pitcher like he was for us in 2019. Um, as for Chris Sale, though, I'm most concerned with Chris Sale. He's been out. He's been out for he was out for the majority of the 19 season. He didn't even play last year, this past season. So I'm more concerned about Chris Sale than I am with Erod. But and now I want to get to the reason why he's got a 1 year extension. They're still paying Chris Sale for those 5 years, 150 million. That's one thing. They're still paying David Price's contract, which was worth 7 years, but 217 million. And until David Price signs a contract with the Dodgers or whoever he's going to sign with, I'm most likely going to be the Dodgers, but just in case, the Red Sox don't have to continue paying him. They don't have to pay Mookie Betts anymore because he signed a deal with the Dodgers for 12 years worth 365 million. They're still paying JD Martinez. I don't think it's as much as David Price and Chris Sale. With that said, I'm gonna tell you why I think it's gonna be 1 year extension. I think the Red Sox are playing this smart. They're making way for Trevor Bauer. I really think that's what's going on here. And same thing, with Trevor Bauer, they're probably gonna sign into a 1-2 year deal. The Red Sox aren't really so much on the money deal because, like I said, they're still paying Chris Sale and David Price, which are the two biggest contracts they've signed in the last decade. Uh, um, David Price was like 30 million a year. Same thing with Chris Sale; he's getting paid 30 million a year. I really think they're gonna go after Trevor Bauer. They need that starting pitcher. They just need that one pitcher in that rotation. And I think they need to go out after a couple of relievers, but I think the starting rotation needs to be strengthened, and I think Trevor Bauer is the guy to do it. Another guy I think they're gonna go after. There's two guys, either Yasiel Puig or Marcelo Osuna. Although I think Yasiel Puig's more of a possibility. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yasiel Puig's a free agent. Marcelo Osuna, if I find correct me if I'm wrong, he isn't. He's still with the Braves. I think he's on a 2 year deal with them. So if the Red Sox go after Osuna, the Braves are gonna want something back from that. We can't afford to lose what we got so far. as for Puig, we're picking him up from free agency, so we're not really going to give up that much. You know what I mean? So I think they're also making way for not only a pitcher but that quality outfielder. And I think Yasiel Puig is the man. I mean, I would love to see Marcell Ozuna in a Red Sox uniform. I just don't think it's going to happen because we're going to have to give up a couple of things for it, maybe even more than that. So I can't see that as a possibility. I can see more Yasiel Puig. I think we also need to re-sign JBJ. I know he's not great at the plate, but he's great in the outfield, and we need that kind of defense. We went from having, and I still think it's true. If that defense in the outfield can get clicking, we have one of the best outfields in the entire league. So I think that's what's really going on here. But hey, man, we locked up one of our best pitchers, and that's good news. At least they're doing the right thing as of right now.
I'll say this. So I'll say this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say this. If they're going to look for Yasiel Puig, well, I'll start with Yasiel Puig first. If they're going to look for him, I think JBJ needs to go. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100. I think he needs to go.
I think Benintendi needs to go.
Let me explain why. I'm gonna explain it this way. I think Yasiel Puig, because we had a chance to make that deal when he was with the Dodgers. We had a chance to give away Jackie Bradley in exchange for Yasiel Puig back when we won that championship. I mean, Jackie Bradley was obviously in the postseason. He was we had the better off of, we made the right decision because Jackie Bradley did win, I believe, ALCS MVP. So we had the better off there. But as for that trade itself, I mean, I would have no problem with that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Jackie Bradley is probably one of the best center fielders when it comes to fielding, absolutely. But when it comes to hitting, I think Puig is better, A. And B, I don't think that he's a better fielder, but I do think that he can make up. I do think that he can make up.
He can make up for what he's brought in.
Mostly, I think he can make up mostly what Jackie Bradley did for us, if that makes any sense. Not everything, because I think Jackie Bradley's a better fielder when it comes to the center field, but I think that he can mostly.
Yasiel Puig's a quality hitter.
And that's why, and plus we need power hitting because that's something we desperately need. I believe our only two power hitters that we got that I have confidence in is Martinez and Rafael Devers. Everybody else is like either a contact hitter or they just don't have.
Tanner Bogarts is another one. Don't forget about him.
I count him more as contact. I think that 300 average speaks for itself. But he does have some power behind the bat, but I wouldn't call him a power hitter, if that makes any sense.
To mention, we got this new kid coming up, Bobby Baldeck. He showed a lot of promise in this season.
Right, but the problem is with these new kids is like they still got to prove themselves. As now going back to that's not what this topic's about. It's going back to Erod. Mm-hmm. So he got diagnosed this season with myocarditis. I believe I said that right, myocarditis. That's another problem right there. Like to me, these problems like respiratory that he has could possibly affect us. With that being said, maybe that's the reason why they don't sign him to the 1-year deal. Maybe it has nothing to do with money. Maybe it's just to see if Erod is that guy, because the past 2 seasons he has been getting better. But maybe they just want this 1-year deal to see if Erod can be that guy.
Get him to a long-term extension.
Right. Maybe after this, it's a long-term extension, which if he plays the way he's been playing the past 2 years, I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I think I honestly think Erod's a good pitcher. I really do. These past 2 years, I think he's really proven himself. Chris Sale, like you said, I can see a worry there, but again, I'm more worried about Erod and all because of all those things put together right there. Erod, I think out of all our players, I think he has probably the most to prove. I truly do think he has the most to prove over Chris Sale and over all of them, because Chris Sale is still on contract. Everybody else, it seems like they're trying to figure out who's good at what, but I think Erod is the guy. And the other thing is going to what you said, if they're trying to make room for Trevor Bauer, then you need to get him to a long-term extension. I don't think a 1 year is going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because often what happens in a lot of sports is you sign them to a 1-year deal, and then after that 1 year is up, they end up leaving. Basically, that's how it goes. Most of the time, not all the time. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you sign them to a 1-year deal, and then they get a longer extension ahead. But mostly in a lot of sports, a 1-year deal basically means 1 year and you're going the next. So, I mean, for a guy like Trevor Bauer, I want that guy locked in and secured for a long-term extension because I don't see Trevor Bauer slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree.
But with that being said, to close it off, I'm sorry. Say what you were going to say?
I mean, we're going to see where it's going. I really think that the Red Sox, especially with the pitching, because I don't got a problem with our defense and offense, because that's good enough as is. What really crumbled us is our pitching. I really
Right.
think if we could get that
That's why I
pitcher,
think,
get a quality pitcher, I think we can be back in the playoff.
and
I'll
that's
be
why I
honest.
think, and I mean, last year we got hit with some bad luck, but I
Yeah,
honestly do think that is the biggest need for the Boston Red Sox. It's not the hitting. I think the pitching really is it.
pitching really is the
And
thing.
and to be honest, I mean, hitting could use a little bit of work, but it's not the biggest problem. The biggest
Yeah,
problem is definitely the pitching. And with that being said, that's why I think if you're gonna go make room for Trevor Bauer, I think that needs to be a long-term extension opposed to just a
right,
year.
right.
Same thing with Erod. I think those are two guys you really need to lock in, or maybe the reason, maybe like you said, the reason why is because we still got. Maybe it has to do with money. I don't know because I'm not them, but they do have David Price on contract, so maybe that they're waiting for him to sign with somebody so he can
They
they
can
can
just
take
let
that
go of the
contract,
contract and get
and then
somebody.
maybe we can sign Erod after to a long-term extension. I could see that too.
Hmm.
But honestly, if you're gonna go after Trevor Bauer, get at least a 3-year deal, in my opinion. I think
Right,
Trevor.
yeah, two or
Honestly, that's
three.
what I'd like to see. I don't want to see a year out of Trevor Bauer on it with us. So I mean, with that being said, to close this out, good luck to Erod. I hope he's healthy for the
Absolutely.
season, and I hope he can play well.
Go Sox.